Okay, we're going over how to outsource step by step and how we are doing it. And we are live. Audio is blocking. Welcome to the group. We'll get started in about a minute or so. If you're just joining the group, make sure you're in your best. This is the Best Chicago Wholesale Deals Live Facebook group. I know I post this on different. I post it on YouTube now on different channels. So if you're in the group, if you're not in the group, join. If you're in the group, we have over 120 plus training videos for free. I pretty much give all my training away for free. You can go to the guide section or the features section and watch all the replays. Just basically going over creative real estate investing, how to flip and cash flow houses without cash, without getting into debt, and how you can do it too. So you can cash flow houses and flip houses without cash or credit, then you can do as many as you want, right? And that's what we are talking about. So we're going to get started here. Today's Monday. Hope you guys are blessed. I know I am, just to be here. To be doing this every week is pretty awesome. So if you're in the Chicago market and you're looking for wholesale deals, join our buyers list. If you're in a different market, we're in quite a few different markets as well. You can let me know where you're at and we can see if we have deals there. If you have a deal under contract, maybe you need help finding a buyer, let us know. We can take a look at it and see if the numbers work. And if you haven't joined KingdomREIAcademy.com, go there and you can learn our 5-offer system, how we're flipping cash flowing houses without cash, without credit, using Kingdom principles. It's free training. We go over our 5-offer system and all that, how I got paid off $10 million worth of debt in was over the course of like 4.5 years, paying off debt for and it was close to 10 million in debt. And I basically using the 5-offer system is how I was able to do that. So learn it. But today we're talking about outsourcing, how to build your business, how to remove yourself from the business, and how I'm doing it. And I'm growing every day and trying to do more. So first we're talking about goals, the goal for your business, like the end goal, right? So the goal for your business is to eventually remove yourself from it, right? So the goal is like, I can take a week off and my business is still making money, right? And I believe creative real estate investing, our 5-offer system, is the best business to get into because you can do unlimited amount of deals without cash and without getting into debt. One thing I want to mention, I put the Zoom in the group, so if you want to jump on Zoom, you can do that too. Hey Andre, how you doing, brother? If you guys want to talk one-on-one, you can jump on the Zoom if you want, or you can stay in the Facebook group. Either way is fine. If you have any questions, you can comment in the Facebook group or unmute yourself in the Zoom. So if you can do a limited amount of deals without cash and without getting into debt, it's just basically how many can you do, and the goal eventually is removing yourself from that business. So, hey, I can still flip and cash flow houses without getting into debt, but I don't have to do the work myself. Someone else is doing it for me, right? Your business should be able to run without you. So eventually you want your business running without you. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to run the business without you, right? Like I remember not too long ago, my wife was in the hospital for almost a week and I wasn't really able to work, and I was still able to stay and sleep overnight in the hospital with her. And that's the freedom you want, right? Like if a family member is in trouble, you're there. If your child needs you, you're there. If your wife needs you, you're there. That's what the business is for. It's not the business is not you don't want to eventually create a job for yourself where If you don't work, you don't make money. Like, you don't want to be a slave to your business. You want it running without you, right? The more you want a business that you're able to, the more you invest into your business, as far as investing, I'm talking about marketing, into looking into marketing and employees, hiring employees, the more you make. So I'm not talking about investing in property, but I'm talking about your investment would be hiring employees, and then your investment would be into marketing. So the more I spend on marketing, the more I spend on hiring more employees or VAs, the more you make, right? So that's the kind of business you want. Again, you should be able to remove yourself from the business. If you're in a business or somewhere you can't remove yourself, then you want to look for a different business, right? So look at what we're doing here, creative real estate investing using our 5 offer system. You can do all this without getting into any debt. Like I said, I paid off 10 million in 4 years worth of debt. It was a combination of lots of personal credit, business credit, mortgages, business loans, and it was a long process, but it was through this 5 offer system, I was able to pay off 10 million. Right. So, and the vision for your business is you want it to be debt free. I believe the best success is following the Bible, and the Bible always talks about being debt free. Don't be a slave to the lender. The Bible talks about, oh, no man, nothing but to love them. The Bible talks about to be be able to give money and not borrow money. It talks about that a lot in Proverbs. So I believe a business, you're looking for a business, you should look at something where you can get into it without getting into debt, right? And you want a business, I'm just giving an example out there, at least cash flowing 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month with or without you. So you want a business that's with you or without you, it's making money, right? It's like I can go and leave for a month and all of a sudden I'm still making the same amount when I come back, right? If your business can't do that, if it doesn't meet any of these criteria, I would try to find a different business, right? So I want you to, take a serious look at, hey, if I can flip houses and cash flow houses without debt, I want you to look at our 5 offer system. That may be a possibility for you. Hey, Mark, how you doing, man? Hey, Jesse, call me after the webinar. Yes, Jesse, give me a call. You can call me after the webinar. Just give me a call, man. Yeah, no problem. So how we're building a team and outsourcing. So that's what we're going to go over step by step. So you can do it too. And we're going to go over the 4 ways in this business. So every time a lead comes in, we put them through the 5 offer system. We say, hey, does this work for a wholesale deal? Does this work for a rent to own where I'm going to stay in the middle and potentially Airbnb it? Does this work for maybe a rent to own assignment where I signing the deal for a down payment? Does this work for a straight option where I can just list the property on the retail market? Or does this work for maybe an Airbnb management where I can collect the fee? So we put every lead through our funnel, and when the lead comes in, we try to figure out what's the best offer for their situation. And we're closing deals every month. We're closing Airbnb management deals. We're closing wholesale deals. We're closing regular listings. We're closing rent to owns. So every month we're closing a different types of leads. One month it could be I close 4 Airbnbs and I didn't close any wholesale deals. One month it could be I closed 4 or 5 straight option deals, and I didn't close any Airbnbs. So one month it could be I closed a rent to own, but I didn't close any wholesale. So learning the 5 offer system, it's not going to matter what they owe. It's not going to matter if they can even be upside down on their mortgage. It's not going to matter even their motivation levels. Like if you're just focusing on wholesaling, it's all about distress, people that need to sell, and that's all you're focused on. But with our 5 offer system, we have people that they have no distress, and we turn the deal into a rent to own, we Airbnb it, and then all of a sudden we're making $1,000 a month off of a deal that's a property in great condition. There's no distress. There's really no equity in the deal either, and we still go ahead and move forward with it. So Especially today, it's a lot harder to wholesale. If you're wholesaling, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are aware of that already. A lot harder to wholesale deals, a lot harder to find sellers that want to sell. So you got to learn different offers so that it doesn't matter what they owe, it doesn't matter how much equity they have, doesn't matter their motivation level at all. Because if you guys learn wholesaling, the only way to get a wholesale deal is they need to be motivated to come down on the price, right? So we're going to go over exactly how we're making offers every day and outsourcing all of it and how you can do it too. So one way we're doing it is we're hiring VAs, and we can hire, we like to hire through a company called Upwork. And that company is pretty good that you can just go to upwork.com and you can search people that have tons of hours and hours of real estate experience. And there's like thousands and thousands of people that have real estate experience that speak perfect English. Maybe you want them to start doing cold calling. So hiring VAs from Upwork, and basically we're going to be outsourcing the acquisitions part. So what we do is we hire a VA, and then their job is to maybe to call all the for sale by owners in your market, right? Or call all the for rent leads in your market and see who's interested in a cash offer, or who's interested in potentially Airbnb in their home, or who's interested in potentially rent to owning the property to you. So the reason you anytime you're hiring, the reason you're hiring is to make more offers, right? So anytime you're thinking like, hey, should I hire this person? Is it going to help me make more offers, right? So when we hire a VA from Upwork, a virtual assistant, so a lot of these people could be in the Philippines, they could be in another country. We have VAs in India, we have VAs in the Philippines that work with us. We have VAs, one in Pakistan that works with us. So I mean, you can hire people across. This opens up across the world, right? Like for example, and this is going to save you money, you're not able to afford the $15-18 an hour where you have to hire somebody locally here in the US, but you can afford the $6 an hour in the Philippines, and that's a lot of money over there for them. And it's a win-win for you, it's a win-win for them in the Philippines, and a lot of them speak very perfect English. They're very good at technology, computers, they're very good at following the CRM. So what we do is we'll have the VA go into our CRM, follow the script with the seller, prepare the offers with the seller. So they'll learn how to get the ARV, learn how to get the comps, and learn how to get the offers prepared. And then when we do have some VAs that are able to talk to the seller and get the contract signed over the phones and email. But then we have some VAs that are not at that level yet. So what we do is we send we have the VA work with maybe another wholesaler, the VA work with another person. So when the VA prepares the offer, they send it to another person, and then the other person that we work with will call them to close the deal or make the offer over the phone. And I'm going to talk about that, working with other people as well in a second. So you can hire local employees, like I said. They'll be a lot more expensive, maybe $15 an hour or more if they're local. Of course, you can hire family, friends. At one point I had hired, I think it was about 10 family members. I had 20 people working full time for me, and 10 family members working for me at one point. I don't have that many people now. As far as family, mainly the people that we're hiring is like overseas using Upwork virtual assistants. But yeah, you can hire local employees, you can hire even family members to do this job. Let's say that you had success, and I don't recommend outsourcing and hiring until you have success, because you can't outsource and hire until you know what you're doing, right? So you want success first, and then outsource, right? If you don't get success, it's hard. It's going to be hard to outsource because you don't know what to outsource, right? So Indeed.com is a great website to find local employees that you can hire, and then any employee that you hire, we make it very, very simple, and that's what you want to do if you're hiring an employee. Just make it as simple as possible. They have a goal, right? Every day they have a goal. Example, they make 4 offers every day, right? So this is their daily quota. They have to hit this goal. If they don't hit it, then we have a problem, right? So I don't care how they get the leads in. They can get it through for sale by owner, for rent. They can get it through contacting tax delinquents, pre-foreclosures, probates, distress list, and then we give them access to everything, right? So hey, your goal every day is at the end of the day, you're going to send me the 4 offers you made. I'm able to log into the CRM. I'm able to see the 4 offers you made. I'm able to see that you sent the email to the seller, that you talked to the seller, that you made the offers. So at the end of the day, if you're hiring somebody, they must have a daily goal and they must have know what they're doing, right? Like you have to lay it out. Like what we do is I uh I just make a video of what they should be doing every day. So I'll just go in and start cold calling Zillow for sale by owner or for rent section. And then I'll record myself doing it and then I'll send them the video, right? And that's what you want to do is demonstrate, show them what they have to be doing every day to succeed, right? And then I show them how to, if they're not getting enough leads through this channel, you can go here and find all the tax delinquents, probates, pre-foreclosures, and start calling these leads, right? So when we hire, our employees know how to find leads, right? So we train them and we show them everything that they need to do. Another thing you can do is partner with people that are rock stars, people that you already know are closing deals, maybe other wholesalers, maybe other realtors. You can pay for their marketing, split profits. It could be realtors, could be other wholesalers. So like right now, I hired a VA full time, and then I partnered that VA with a rock star wholesaler, right? So we partnered them together, and the VA is the one responsible for getting the leads into the CRM, following the script, getting the offers prepared, and when the offers are ready, the VA will send our rockstar wholesaler or realtor the deal and say, hey, call the seller. And then that rockstar, why I say rockstar is someone that is closing deals, somebody that is good at sales, somebody that maybe you already partnered with already and you guys close deals together. So maybe that's someone you already know, right? Like you can approach them and say, hey, what if I pay for all your marketing and I get leads coming in and we split the profits on the deals? And it could be, you can negotiate the split, right? You can say, hey, since I'm paying for the marketing, I'm paying for the VA, we can do, 33% or, whatever you negotiate, 20%, 25%. So if you're paying for the marketing, try to get at least, I would say minimum 40%. You give them 40, you get 60, right? So it's all negotiable on how much the profit splits are going to be. Again, you want to make sure these guys are veterans, close deals, know how to talk to sellers already, know how to make offers, right? Because if you're paying for their marketing, they better be getting deals, right? Because and you want to do like test every employee you hire, everyone that you're going to partner with, like a rock star, pay for the marketing. You want to give it 3 months, maybe even up to 6 months of time and see how they do, right? If you go 6 months may be too long, but if you go 4 or 5 months and there's not one deal under contract, there's not one profit made, then you got to figure out what's wrong, right? So mainly what usually is going to be wrong is they're not making enough offers. So as long as I see they're hitting the daily goal of 4 offers per day, so I check that off. Okay, they are making the offers. Okay, what's the second thing? Maybe they're not they don't know how to talk to the sellers, right? They don't know how to negotiate. That's why partnering with rockstar wholesalers or rockstar realtors that already know how to close deals is a good thing, right? Because you're not wasting your money. So if you're paying for marketing, again, they must hit a daily goal offer. So same thing, if I'm paying for someone's marketing, I'm going to say, hey, you got to at least make 4 offers a day, 5 days a week, right? So 20 offers a day should be going out, for example. I mean, not 20 offers a day, but 20 offers a week, right? So every week, if it's a good negotiator, a good realtor or wholesaler that I'm paying for their marketing, every week I should get something under contract, whether it's a listing, whether it's a new Airbnb, whether it's a rent to own, whether it's a wholesale deal, something should be under contract that I can profit, right? If as long as they're making 20 offers a week. So, but if, like I said, if 3 months go by, 4 months go by and there's not one deal under contract, then that's a problem, right? You got to look at what's going on. Are they not making the offers? Are they don't know how to negotiate, don't know how to talk to sellers, right? So it's either one of the two, right? Because you can make a lot of offers and all you do is text the offer and never, sometimes people are afraid to talk to sellers and all you do is email and text offers, which I don't, I think the best thing to do is get them on the phone and talk to them and make the offer. So partner with Rockstar Realtors or other wholesalers, and you can look at ROI, right? So if you're hiring employees, you're paying for other people's marketing, what's my return on investment? So if I'm investing, $1,000 a month for a VA, and I'm investing, another 500 a month in marketing costs and when I say marketing costs, I mean, we'll pay for maybe, the leads for skip tracing. We'll pay for maybe we're doing a text message campaign or a cold calling campaign. So we're paying for that for them, and then leads are coming in. But again, if you're paying for marketing, you're paying for other people, you need to see what's your return on investment is most important. So don't look at it as you're not looking as an expense. I would look at it as an investment, right? So if I'm investing, $1,500 a month every single month into this, and 3 months go by, I've invested $4,500. Did I close a deal? Did I make money? If you close one deal, let's say you made 10 grand, and guess what? That 4,500 made 5,500, right? So it's an investment, right? Of course, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months go by, 6 months go by, and now you've invested 9 grand and haven't done one deal, then you probably have a problem, right? You may have to hire, and that's the process with hiring employees, marketing, hiring Rockstar, partnering with people. It could be an investment that you don't get back. That's the risk you take it with business, right? You take that risk of, yeah, I might invest 9 grand and I might not close a deal, right? I might invest 4 grand, I might not close a deal. That's the risk you're taking when you're hiring people in your business, right? But before you, that's why training is important, right? You don't want to let them go off on their own until they're competent, right? Like people like to outsource and delegate, but a lot of people don't train people right? And I'm guilty of that as well, where I just hired someone and just try to outsource everything without the training. But you want to make sure that your VA, the person that you're paying for marketing, is competent, right? For example, how do I know? So if I have a VA and they send me 20, like let's say that in the beginning you're going to look over everything. You should be looking over everything. So before they submit an offer, before anyone talks to the seller and makes an offer, we're analyzing the offer we're making sure it's correct, right? So if I see the VA is always getting the wrong offer, or the partner is always getting the wrong offer, maybe they're offering too low or too high, then what do you do in that case? You correct them, say, hey, this is your offer, you got the offer of 50 grand, I analyzed it and it really should be 70 at the most. This is the reason why. And you train them, right? And you want to get to that point of you looked at 10, maybe 20 deals and they're all correct, like in a row consistently. At that point, when I look at 10, 20 deals, and they made the right offer on every single deal, that's when I have confidence that I can now, that they're competent and I can let it go, right? I can say, hey, you're trained now, you know how to make the right offer. And then the next step is of course they have to be able to talk to the seller, negotiate and close the deal, right? So number 4, mentor others, split profits, free or charge them. So the next one is you can't really micromanage this part as mentoring others. So mentoring others, like what I do is I started a meetup group about 14 plus years ago in Chicago with the intent of just mentoring others for free and then splitting profits on deals, such as deals I bought like as a flip where I was the rehabber, deals that I bought just to be a landlord and rent them out, deals that we wholesale together, deals that maybe we turn into like a rent to own or a straight option. So mentor others and split profits. You can charge them if you want, or you can do it for free. So for me, I had a lot of success when I started a meetup group, and I was doing it for free for many years, maybe like 7, 8 years. I was doing it for free, and then I started charging when I started adding all the systems like websites, CRMs, automated, contacting leads. So I had to start charging when I added all the systems to it because it cost me money every time I give someone the systems and all the automation, right? But it's up to you. You can charge people if you want, or you can do it for free. So eventually, once you had a lot of success, you're going to, I would say, why not mentor people, right? And the split profits free of charge. They pay you to mentor them, or you split profits for free. Copy what I do. Start a Facebook group. Eventually, train them in the group every week. Start live meetings. Maybe you want to do it where you meet them face to face, and you guys have a small group that you meet together every week, and you train every week. Um, and you come together and you talk about what's working, what's not working. You come together and overcome, help them get started, right? I know when I started doing the live meetings, we would just be a small group of, start off with just a few people. Eventually it grew bigger and bigger, and then we would meet, and I would just set up, answer every single question that everyone had, and make sure that before we left, like, hey, everything is up and running. You have the ability to start making offers today, so there should be nothing stopping you, right? So mentoring others, splitting profits. I mean, we don't micromanage the mentoring of others. You could, but we have partners that I don't hear from for like 3 years, and all of a sudden they have a deal. I have partners that only want to close like 1 or 2 deals a year, so that's like their vacation money, which is fine, right? Everyone is different, so we can't control everybody. So, and then I have students that are trying to close a deal every month, right, or every week, right? So it's everyone is different. So when you're mentoring others, you don't want to get you don't want to you want to be available, right? Be available, be there to answer all their questions, and don't get discouraged if someone doesn't move forward, because like I said, some people want to go slow, some people want to go fast, some people are just in the learning stage, where they just want to learn. I was there, I was stuck in that learning stage for like 2 years. I think I knew about all the creative strategies, and all I did was learn when I should have been, making offers and talking to sellers. So but everyone learns at a different pace. So allow them to do that, right? So these are the 4 ways we're building outsourcing, building a team and outsourcing. And you want to decide like, hey, where do I want to start? If you've closed deals, maybe you closed 4 or 5 deals already, you made 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand or more. Yeah, you should start, and you have the funds, you have the money to start outsourcing. This is something that you should be doing right away, right? But if you're struggling to, if you hire a VA and it's going to be a struggle to pay the VA every month, a struggle to pay for the other person, you bring on a rock star realtor or other wholesaler, and it's a struggle to pay for their marketing every month, don't do it. Don't do it until you have enough funds in the bank where you can maybe do 3 months to 6 months of hiring the employee and marketing. And don't do it until you close at least 4 or 5 deals and you know what you're talking about, right? Make sure that, you don't have to close hundreds of deals to start outsourcing, but I would say at least 5 deals you close on your own, and then start outsourcing, right? And if you never close a deal, the goal is to close a deal as fast as possible, right? And the only way to close a deal is getting a seller on the phone, uh, analyzing the deal and making the offer. The only way to make money in this business is talk to sellers, analyzing deals, making offers, and then following up with the sellers consistently, right? So if you're interested in maybe, because we have people that are, we have like a done for you system where we hire the VA, we find the right market, we set up all the marketing campaigns. Like if you close deals in the past and you're interested in like a done for you system where you can come in and you have everything set up for you, you can reach out to us if you have questions about that. This is my number, this is my email. And that's how we're doing deals. We're just contacting sellers. We're using a lot of automation via we do a lot of bulk skip tracing. We do a lot of automated texting campaigns, automated cold calling campaigns. And so a lot of automation with follow up as well, where we just hit follow up and then the leads are followed up with forever. So if you have any questions, reach out. This is my number, my email. If there's any questions in the Facebook group, you can put it in the comments as well. So start building a team outsourcing. If you close deals and you have the money, start doing it as fast as possible. You don't want to be the guy that never starts building, right? There's guys that have the money, they close a ton of deals, and they're still the one-man show. You don't want to be that, right? The reason we get in this business is for freedom, financially, freedom to spend time with our family, freedom to be able to do what we want when we want, right? The whole reason for this business should be the what the finances bring is freedom of your time, right? If you're a slave to your work, then you're not going to be free. It's going to be like having a job, right? The leadership begins in the heart. We're going through the Bible, what it says about business, about leadership, and I think the Bible has the best wisdom on how to have a great business that glorifies God, right? We can have great businesses that are making a lot of money, and they do everything against God. You want to have a business that God says, "Hey, well done, good and faithful servant. You're following my principles," right? So God has principles for your business that we should be following, right? So leadership begins in the heart. So John 15:15 says, "No longer do I call you servants, but I have called you friends." So what can a person do to manage and cultivate good relationships as a leader? So friendship, right? So that's as a leader, we're also supposed to be required to be great neighbors, great friends. The number one commandment is love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. So when you're loving your neighbor, you become a great friend to your neighbor, a great friend to other people, right? A great friend to your customers, your clients, your coworkers, right? So what can a person do to manage and cultivate good relationships as a leader? It requires three things: understanding people. I have a lot of training on personality types, be a chameleon. And this is very biblical, like people like themselves. And Apostle Paul talked about this in 1 Corinthians 9:22. So it says, "To the weak I became weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some." So Apostle Paul, to the Jews, he became like a Jew. To the weak, he became like a weak. To the Gentiles, he became like a Gentile. He was a chameleon, right? And to win friends and influence people, we got to be like a chameleon. We can't be, for example, just common sense things, right? Like someone's depressed about something that happened in their life. We don't go into their life and come in with this super high energy and just happy about everything, right? It's just you adapt to how they are. Like an old lady calls you that's talks sweet and old, you're not going to be loud and abrasive to that person, right? You're going to talk to them how they're talking to you. So be a chameleon, right? Like we have people that call us and they're yelling at us, screaming at us, and they're mad at us. And guess what? I'm right back at them the same way, right? So if you're a chameleon, people like themselves. So learn the personality types. I go over this a lot in my training videos. If you go in the Facebook group, go into the training on negotiations. I deep dive in all this stuff. So someone that's social, they like to chit chat, they want to get to know you, right? So when I'm going into a conversation with someone that's social, guess what? I'm social, right? I'm trying to win them as a friend, right? And I'm trying to win their trust. And the reason I'm trying to win them as a friend is is uh is of course I'm always trying to share the gospel, right? I'm always trying to win souls, right? But at the same time, I'm also, if you're talking to a seller and they're social, you're going to win them as a friend and also a business partner, right? For example, someone is not going to do business with you. They're not going to let you Airbnb their house for the next year if they don't like you, if they don't like you and trust you, right? So these strategies are learning personality types, like someone that's social. You can't go into that negotiation and have a social mindset, say, I'm going to be social and try to get to know this person, talk about personal stuff. And then there's a driver, someone that's just get to the point. I just don't waste my time. Someone that just wants to don't waste his time, right? Someone that wants to win the negotiation battle. So it's two different people. So if I'm going into a conversation with a driver, it's a totally different conversation. Then there's the analytical person that is all about stats and numbers and figures. So if I'm talking to Mr. Analytical, and I'm trying to convince them to move forward with rent to own, I'm going to show them all the stats. Say, hey, look, your house is going to make this much on, on a normal rental with me. You're going to make this much. Your house is worth this much. Here are the comps. Here are all the sold comps. That one sold for this price. So learning different personality types, and then going into make an offer, like especially in this business, you're talking to sellers and making offers, going into that offer with a strategy on what you're going to do, and going into that offer is going to help you understand people, and it's going to help you build relationships, help you build friendships, because everyone has a guard up, right? Like if someone has a guard up, um, and you automatically, your first impression is that someone they don't like, right? Like for example, someone that talks loud and high energy, right? How does someone that talks soft and slow feels about someone that's always loud and high energy? They don't like them because they're different, right? So you gotta be a chameleon, learn. I'm not going to get into the 4 different personality types in detail, but you can listen to that if you go on the Facebook group, go to negotiations, and I have like hours long training on the personality type. So understand people, be a chameleon. This is biblical. Apostle Paul talked about this quite a few times in the Bible. Hey, if I have to change who I am, to help save some people, to help create friendships and build friendships, then guess what? I'm going to do that, right? The second thing is love people. Being a leader is more than just wanting to lead. Leaders have empathy for others and keen ability to find the best in people, not the worst, by truly caring for others. You cannot be a truly effective leader unless you love people. To love people, you give. You give of your time, you give of your finances to people, you serve them, you build them up, you encourage them, you help them when they're in need, right? So I mean, the main thing with uh, uh, loving people, a lot of people just don't have the time, right? And I'm guilty of that. And I look back and I'm like, man, I'm so busy that I don't have the time to love people. That I'm always in a hurry. I'm always in a rush, right? And I apologize if I was on the phone with maybe one of you guys and I was in a rush because I had so much stuff to do. So I'm looking back and saying, man, I got to learn to have time and not fill my schedule with so much stuff that I can't have the time to love people, right? And serve people and give. So learn to love people. And a lot of that is for us living in this day and age, our schedules are always full from the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed. So I challenge you to just like maybe every night give at least 2 hours of free time where you can talk where you can set a time to love somebody in your life, right? And build someone up, right? And as in this business, when we're talking to sellers, the reason we have a 5 offer system is because of the seller. We want to love them the best we can. We want to serve them the best we can, because if I'm just going in there with a wholesale offer and all I want is try to lowball them, get them down $100,000, and that's my only offer, guess what? The only way I can win is I beat them up and get them down, right? Sometimes that the wholesale works because they need to sell in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but most of the time it won't. So learning the 5 offer system, learning the different strategies, guess what? You're loving the sellers more because you have different options, and they could be even upside down. They can owe 200,000 and the property is only worth 180,000, and you can still turn that into an Airbnb, and it's a win-win for the seller, a win-win for you, right? So learn to love people. And a lot of it is that I'm guilty of too, is having the time, being available, right? Be there, be available, right? Help people. If your focus is on what you can put into people rather than what you can get out of them, they will love and respect you. Those attributes are great foundations of building relationships. So help people, right? And how can you help people is, again, being available. Help people by sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom. Like we all go through problems in life and struggles and sufferings. And guess what? God uses those sufferings and pain that we went through so that we can help the other person, right? Like who better can help the alcoholic get out of alcoholism than the person that came out of that, right? Like I was an alcoholic, right? And when I hear someone stuck in alcoholism, guess what? I have advice. I was there. I was stuck in that. I was drinking every night, right? Um, I'm able also to help people that were addicted to like pornography their whole life. I was addicted to pornography uh, uh, majority of my life growing up, and I was able to get out of that. Like, how did so your sufferings, your pain, the things that you struggle and you overcame, you're able to help people more than anybody. So your pain and your sufferings that you have now overcame, you're able to now turn around and help your brother, help your sister that is stuck there, right? And helping people in this business is like I said, learn this 5 offer system. Like we can help anybody in any situation, doesn't matter upside down, doesn't matter equity, right? So in this business, learning these 5 different offers, we can help as many people as possible sell their home, cash flow their home, and we're just there to help and serve the other person. Have a mindset of how many people can I help today, not how much I can make today. So once you have that mindset shift of when we first get into business, we're always looking at the numbers and the stats and the figures. So if I make 20 offers a day and I do that for the next 5 days, I'm gonna make this much offers, I should have this many deals, I should make this much money, right? So instead of looking at it like that, look at it as like, how many people can I serve today? How many people can I help out of their situation today? And when you look at it like that, as for when you're getting on the phone with a seller, it's more so, how can I serve you? How can I be of service? Not another number or figure, right? So when you're on the phone with the seller, have the mindset shift of, hey, this is another human being that has a problem, and I want to see how I can best help that person. And the seller's going to feel that. They're going to realize, like, this person is not just out to get me. This person not out to scam me. This person is not out to just pull one over on me, but they're really here to try to help me, right? And guess what? When I first started real estate, all I did was lowball offer sellers, and yeah, I wasn't. I only knew wholesaling, only knew like sending lowball cash offers, and I had no like mindset of how can I help somebody. My mindset was, how much money can I make, right? And just shifting your mind, and the business becomes easier having this mindset shift. The business becomes more fun. It's great being able to help people, right, out of their situation, right? Like I have a seller that is just, I've been Airbnb in her house for I'm doing the management of Airbnb for over a year now, and she's just like happy all the time how much money she's making, how how we're managing the property, and it's just a win-win, right? Like it's just a win-win, uh having that shift in your mind in this business. And don't be so busy you cannot help anybody. So don't be so busy you cannot help anyone. And I'm guilty of that. Like I was had my entire schedule from Monday through Saturday planned out. In the morning I'm doing this, in the afternoon I'm doing this, I'm doing this, at night I'm doing this, and my whole day was busy. And I left no time for any interruption, left no time for friends, for family, left no time for, business partners I could have helped because I was so busy, right? So take the time. How can you improve your personal relationships with people you lead? Go back and figure and going back summarizing today. Understand people. Be a chameleon. People like themselves. People all have a guard up, but if they realize that hey, you're there to help them, and you're here, they let that guard down, and they let you into a relationship with them. Love people by encouraging them, building them up, serving them, giving them your time, uh, help people, right? And again, same thing, like if you don't have time, if you don't have any time, how can you help anyone, right? So I hope you got a lot of today's training. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I'm just going to end in prayer. So I want to thank God for all his blessings. Thank God for just all the biblical wisdom of from the Bible that teaches us how to have a good life, a healthy life, a prospering life, that teaches us how to live, where to go and what to do. We just pray for everyone that the Holy Spirit fills everyone on this call, fills everybody, and just gives us the strength, the courage, the boldness to study the word, get into the word of God, listen to it, and not only just listen to it and know it, but obey it in Jesus' name. And I pray for successful, prospering businesses that are loving people, helping people, understanding people, serving people, giving to people, encouraging people. So I pray for that in Jesus' name, for successful businesses that are out there being a blessing, and just building up everyone around them in Jesus' name. Amen.